keep this the same.
Welcome to The Ride with Chevy and Nasty. Host Randy Chevy and Sheldon Napastka guide you through great stories that spark great conversations. Two really big guys talking a big game. The boys are locked in and ready to go. Welcome to The Ride.
Sportsnet 960 and 660 News Radio have been shut down by Rogers Sports and Media. The Calgary radio stations are among 6 across the country now shuttered by the company, citing declining audience and revenue trends. Stations in Vancouver, Halifax, and Kitchener have also been affected. In a statement to CBC, Rogers called it a difficult but necessary decision after a thorough review of its radio stations. One professor emeritus of journalism says he isn't surprised given the changing landscape.
We have a huge proliferation of podcasts. In many ways, podcasts started out in the sports world and also in the news world. Podcasts started out as ideas that came from radio, and now they're coming back and devouring radio.
And it means the Calgary Flames no longer have a radio broadcaster. Mike Richards says that's a tough blow. He hosted the first morning show on Sportsnet 960.
You're not going to have the Flames looking for a very long time, I wouldn't think, to have a broadcast partner. But in that's where the tap dance starts, right? This is when the courting starts.
The Calgary Flames have declined to comment. Rogers says it's cut 230 jobs in total, 80 of them at the shuttered radio stations. Karina Zapata, CBC News, Calgary.
That's a sad day. That's a sad day in Calgary, Vancouver, and a few other cities around the country for sure. And all the more reason for our weekly bro check, everybody. Welcome everybody that's joining us tonight. Rob Evans, Jamin Domler, Bruno, Dine Dash Dad. I know we've got Todd Kozak. He's actually at wrestling right now, watching his son who just got back from his ACL injury.
Oh,
Chev,
nice.
This is shocking news, though. Is it like, tell me your reation when you first found out about this?
Well, first of all, echo your sentiments. Sorry, I'll adjust my hat here. Absolutely shocking. I've always been a huge talk radio fan. In fact, I put out a little post today about that. And, going back to my days as a kid in Montreal, I don't know about you growing up in Saskatchewan, if you were a talk radio guy, sports talk radio guy, but I mean, I grew up in Montreal. This is before the internet, before content on demand. Like, you got 2 games on TV a week, one in English, one in French, and anything else you listen to on the radio. And you listened when you were a little kid in your room under your covers on a little AM radio with the antenna up. And I remember listening to sports talk radio as a kid. I love talk radio. In fact, when I'm in my car, I mostly listen to radio. I don't even listen to podcasts. I know they mentioned that article, the podcast and stuff. I love stories. I love local, something that's connected to me. Yes, I like podcasts, just like I like our podcast and a few others because of the personalities. But I also like it because it's local. And I think, you welcome guys like Rob Evans, Jamin Domler, Todd Kozak. We present something that connects with them at a local level, and then we talk about other things. And so for me, seeing Rogers Sportsnet gone, it's kind of weird on 2 fronts. Like, again, being a sports talk radio fan, it is weird turning onto the 960 dial, which is what I did last week, for the first time in 20 years since I've been here, and it's completely blank. Not within a day. It wasn't announced and then, it was like, oh, we're closing down shop within a day. It was like the same day. They brought the folks in the morning, from what I understand. They got on a conference call with management. Management gave them the deal, and then HR came in and took care of the rest. Some people got a severance. Some people didn't.
A lot of contractors.
And that was it. And so from a perspective of a sports fan, it's sad because I love listening to talk radio. From the perspective of myself, the personal connection that you and I both had to the radio station, that's where we got our start in Calgary. You know, we had our harebrained idea, and we often reference it, that we went up to Rob Kerr as we got smoked out in the corral while there was the motocross race, and we said, we want our own show. And he said, what are you going to call it? We're going to call it the Chevy and Nasty Show. He said, okay, next segment's yours. And from that moment, this is where that was born. And that was a Fan 960 that gave us our opportunity. And the people we knew at the time, the Pat Steinbergs, the Rob Kerrs, of course, Kelly Kirsch, Bryn Griffiths, our producers, you know, Brad Slater, Jason DeForest, all these guys, Kylie Stiles. We were there at the beginning with them when we showed up, and they've been part of my life since. You know, I still keep tabs with Pat Steinberg. I don't know if you remember Will Nault. Will Nault, he was a voice on the Fan 960 for probably 10 years. I went to real estate school with his mom. I'm the one that hooked him up with Kelly Kirsch, and he wound up being on the show, just like Matty Rose. His dad knew me through the stamp. So there's a lot of connections there,
Yeah.
and I feel badly for those folks. But I mean, I could have seen this coming for years, Sheldon. I could have seen this coming for years.
Well, okay? Well, let's get into that a little bit. Like, so what made you start seeing this for years? Because I've got my opinion on it. I'm curious what you saw.
So, I mean, we obviously know that Rogers is a corporate behemoth, right? They own the hockey rights in Canada. They own the streaming rights in Canada. They own the Leafs. They own the Jays. Like, everything is so Toronto-centric. There's two things that I saw. When Mike Richards was I don't know if he was given his walking papers. I don't know exactly how it went. Not to say that Boomer and Pinder and Red in the Morning weren't Mike Richards. They were different. Towards the end, COVID and stuff, they started doing their bits and stuff. But Mike Richards was unique. And they had lightning in the bottle with Mike. And when he left, a bit of the personality left. And then you had Boomer and Pinder and those guys in the morning, which were great. But I think what happened is there was this youth movement, like all, even sports, cheaper, younger, less veteran. And for me, the two things that happened that kind of turned me off to it a little bit, it became very Toronto-centric. So we lost Jim Rome. I love Jim Rome. Jim Rome was a change-up from the local talk, but it was, I guess, for lack of a better term, unbiased. It was a sports
and it was everything. It wasn't centric to one market. He's based in LA. It wasn't an LA sports show.
Right. And he was so big that he could get the guests that are like, if you and I want to talk about Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift's wedding, well, we'll talk about it. He'll get one of them on his show. Well, you know what I mean? And so that's what the Jim Rome show gave Calgary. It gave Calgary a piece of the outside world. And when they cut Jim Rome, and then it went strictly hockey talk, almost 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, and very Toronto-centric with Nick Kiprios' show, and then the force-feeding of the Jays, and then the force-feeding of the Leafs. I think, again, me growing up in Montreal, we didn't want Toronto force-fed on us. Like, that's one thing I got from French Canada. It's like, no, like, Montreal wants Montreal things.
You're your own local market.
And Alberta, from everything I know, especially in the last 10 years, we don't want anything to do with Ontario. So when they cite declining audience numbers and declining, I think it was lack of effort to connect with the local market and the local interests.
See, I think that's a great take. I was talking to Jamin about it because he called me up blubbering in tears on the day that it happened. We're breaking it down, and you really did nail it. They got rid of some of the big names. And some of the big price tags. I'll disagree with you on Boomer and Rhett and Pinder. think you said they did a good job. I think they did an amazing job.
Oh no, they did.
They created a new culture in the morning. It took a little bit to get going, but honestly, like Rhett Warner for me was just he's the reason I'd turn it on in the morning.
But they were the personality. Sorry, and
but they're the personalities. Now, as you're continuing though, like. Yeah, it became hockey all the time. I was the same as Jamin here. Rome, I could take it or leave it. He's an arrogant guy. It was entertaining though. I liked it when it was for a couple of hours and then it went to Flames at noon. But for me, it was really when they started bringing in, like you say, the Toronto centric. Really, what that means is we stopped investing in local talent, and we started taking guys out of the central markets. It's almost insulting. Like if you're if you're still mourning the Expos and suddenly you've got the Blue Jays forced down your throat. A lot of people here love the Blue Jays, right? So we don't have that. But I don't think you're tuning in to hear about the center of the universe and, what are they going to get from Marner and what are they going to do with their cap space this year? And when we have our own teams and our own takes and our own opinions from our own guys, right?
Yeah.
Another thing too, one of my favorite things when we had the show was fan call-ins. I love call-ins. I love hearing people's opinions. And even though not everybody always calls in, just not everybody writes in here to our show. But the people that are lurking get to know the different voices, get to know the different characters. I'm going to miss, if I have a late night and I'm driving back hearing Pat Steinberg hosting the after hours Flames call-in shows, I recognize a lot of those callers. I'm going to miss that local touch and the community that local talent and local topics brings to the table. And, my biggest problem is, of course, it's a corporate decision. We are an absolute monopoly in this country. Yeah, you got TSN, but they don't have a radio reach like Rogers would have. But it's infuriating to me. When I moved to Calgary, we're 1.1 million people. We're now 1.6, 1.7 million people. We're
almost
a big.
two, we're getting to 2.
We're getting to be a big city. You cannot tell me that the economics will not work in this market. It was decisions like you said. When you said you saw this coming over the last 10 years, you're absolutely right. They stopped making this about us, and it started becoming, shopping at Walmart instead of going to your local farmer markets.
Well, and again,
talking
it
to the
became
farmers.
Inaccessible even for local advertisers. I mean,
Yeah.
when you're Rogers and you got to start paying the salary of Mitch Marner, not Mitch Marner anymore, but Austin Matthews, Nylander, Vlad Guerrero Jr., and the billions of dollars you spent. Yes, your telecom is going to cover that. Yes, your cable is going to cover that. But also your advertising dollars is going to have to cover that. And cutting people's salaries is going to cover that. That's why we lost so much. Jamin said he stopped listening when they started cutting the talent, because the more money you cut on this end, every penny counts. That's why they started, let me back up for a second. When we were on the Fan 960 from 2006 to about 2012, we did the show 1 day a week, Sheldon. 1 day a week for, I would say, maybe 5 or 6 years. And only during football season, maybe we stretched out to the Super Bowl. Not a full year. And I still would get called out in the streets for our show and the 300-pound poetry more than anything I did in the air, because we were memorable. And I'm not saying we were great.
We're pretty bad sometimes, but we were local, we were personalities, and we talked very engaged with the audience.
We talked about different things. We didn't just talk about sports. And what the Fan 960 went to, besides the very Toronto-centric covered, was this very bland and boring, super geek talk about the Flames. Like, I don't care about a guy's Corsi numbers and shooting percentage versus ice time versus salary. I don't care about his salary cap hit. And that's what it became. And it was and again, more power to the guys that know that stuff, because I think they fuel the intelligent sports talk. But people don't want to listen to you and I for rocket science. They want to hear me trash and bash Trey for his takes on Canadian quarterbacks. They want to hear you talk about what you cooked this week. And they want to hear me talk something stupid about something I did on the weekend with my kids, like getting kicked out of a ball hockey game, all three of us. They don't really care about 24/7. They beat the horse dead.
Yeah.
And they didn't get helped by the performance of the Flames. But again, this is not just in Calgary. This is in Vancouver. This is in Kitchener. And this is Waterloo. And this is what this tells me, is that people across Canada hate the Leafs.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, good take.
Yeah. But no, it is sad though, because a lot of guys we know lost their jobs, and that's.
I'll tell you what. When you're in media and entertainment, it's like if you're 35, 45 years old, 45 plus, and you're out of that media job, good luck.
But you know what? I have friends. You have friends, but I have a couple of good friends that are in the media. The nice thing is, if a radio station does show up back in Calgary, which it should. I mean, like you said, 2 million people, someone's going to pick it up. It might be TSN that might buy the rights to the radio station because they have a few across Canada. They didn't have Calgary because they didn't need it. It might be some independent sports radio station. Could be Chorus. Could be anyone. A lot of those guys will be reemployed. The other thing that's nice to know for those guys that, unlike professional athletes, they get severance. A lot of them get severance if they weren't contractors.
The employees
did you get severance when the Stampeders cut you?
Yeah, no. Did you from the fan when our show ended?
No.
Right.
So,
like it's
so what I'm saying is a lot of those people will bounce back. A lot of those people wind up in comms jobs. There's plenty of communications jobs. Yeah, it's not sexy like doing sports talk, but a lot of people wind up. I got a lot of friends that have flipped to the corporate side of the world, and they're like, "Why didn't I do this sooner?" I don't have like. So again, I think the people who will suffer the most is the local sports fans, guys like me, that the first thing they do when they get in the car is turn on the local sports talk. Cause I love the fact that you get sports. I love the fact that every half hour you get the news. I love the fact that if something's happening that's breaking, you'll get it first. You don't get that in a podcast. You won't get that in our podcast.
See,
you show up
and that's one of my, I think you and I are kind of similar. I'm in my car all day long.
Yeah. Yep.
Right. So the radio was something I really did rely on. And I wasn't a big fan 960 guy anymore, to be honest. Like a lot of the guys I just wasn't interested in, but I checked on it 3-4 times a day. And if there's something big, I got my news there. I'm in my vehicle enough that I've got a show for kind of every hour of the day, depending where I'm at. There's something on that I like, but I just lost 2 of my stations. Now, with Rob Snow, it wasn't a sports show, but it was a cross Canada talk show. I love listening to that. I love hearing opinions of guys from Halifax and Kitchener. Sure. Yeah. And he's still on, and that's probably the only decent show still on the air right now.
Well, I think, to wrap the segment up, and the call to action is this. Listen, if you love sports talk like the way we do, there are plenty of options in town. Like, listen, we're not exclusive here. The guys got the Barn Burner podcast, like you mentioned, Boomer, Pinder, and Rhett Warner. They do a fantastic job, and that's why they're successful on their podcast, because their personalities. There's Jock Wilson that does sports talk at night with Jock on QR 770. Plus, they also carry the Stampeder games. I love listening to those guys. But you know what? If you hear people talking about this, people are still talking about it in the bar, and someone talks about the lack of sports talk radio in the town, guys, please point them to our show. Our show, I think, is exactly what people crave. We're local. We talk about things that you'd see in town, but we also kind of stretch outside the boundaries of Calgary and Alberta. And we like to do some international things, and we like to have fun and BS and no serious. Like Sheldon says, it's the bro check. So guys, tell your friends, if you got some avid listeners that were listeners of the fan, tell them check us out.
Yeah, you're welcome here, for sure.
Sideline Sports Radio Network, live every Monday, 10 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and then we do the podcast thing the next day. So if you want it driving into work, you got that too. And also, hey guys, it takes a little bit of dough to get this thing running, and we run it out of our own pockets, but it sure would be nice. Maybe we could pick up a couple of sponsors that no longer have a home on the fan. It won't cost you that much, I promise you that. We're just looking for a couple of $100 instead of the thousands you were paying to pay Vlad Guerrero's salary. But if you're interested in joining the ride, guys, we have a fun time. We'd love to grow this community. So, sad day for the fans of the fan, but maybe an opportunity for the ride to pick up a few passengers.
The beautiful thing is now on us. It's now on these local shows, local producers, to give a product that'll win people back. I'm going to just touch on one thing too, Chev.
Yeah.
Let's not forget, we tend to be a bit of dinosaurs. In 2025 was the year that podcasts officially replaced radio for the most spoken word listening time. And over the last few years, people now, like, I don't know about you, but when I'm on my car, I plug in my phone and I go to Google Maps and got my schedule and my directions to my next shoots and all that stuff. I think what happened a little bit too, to be fair, we've kind of broken the habit of going to our radio dials.
Fair enough.
Especially the younger guys, right?
But I'll tell you this, for me personally, I agree with that take. For me, when it comes to music, I put on Spotify on my phone because I like to pick my music for a road trip. That's 100% accurate. I have my Snoop Dogg playlist. I have my gym rock pump playlist. I have my country playlist. Like, I have a ton of playlists, and depending on my mood, I hit it and go. And you know me, I drive almost every weekend to Red Deer. But when it comes to listening to talk, I prefer something that's live and local.
Yeah.
That's my listening test. And I don't think I'm completely a dinosaur because I do a lot of the Spotify. But what does Regan say? Regan's a younger guy. People can listen to whatever they want now. I haven't listened to 960 in a while as much as I used to love it as a kid. Well, yeah, there you go. Like there's Regan Kohlberg. Life changes and habits change, but we hope that we're the new habit you picked up. The one thing, Sheldon, from the Fan 960 days that we're always known for, that whenever we went out and about was not our wonderful looks, but it was our 300-pound poetry. And that's something we carried over from the days in the Fan to the ride with Chevy and Nasty. So for anyone new listening tonight, you will be treated to the fact that we bring you a live, brand new 300-pound poetry every week, and we've got one especially cooked up for you right now.
And now, 300-pound poetry with Chevy and Nasty.
Fans just sweating from the heat, and we've got sick farmer tans.
Speaking of fans, the Fan 960 went off air. Rogers pulled the plug on the station. Corporate greed with no care.
And a lot of dough switch hands at the UFC main event as McGregor blew out his knee. On an opening kick, it awkwardly bent.
And Trey called it right. Jake Dolegala kind of sucked. But he's wrong about Tre Ford. Hamilton is now even more in trouble.
The Stamps lost in Montreal. The Birds are on a roll. Can the Stamps split the home and home to keep themselves from this deep hole?
The ride is sports talk at night, and we welcome any new ears. We hope the show is filled with laughs and maybe a few of Trey's tears. So our intrepid producer, Trey, for those of you new to the show, because, I mean, we did invite through social media people to listen. There might be some new people. I'm Randy Chevrier. People call me Chevy from my playing days with the Stamps, and that's Sheldon Napashchuk, my co-host, Nasty from his Saskatchewan days after hitting Dave Dickinson a little dirty.
Dave.
Yeah, sorry, Dave. And then we have our intrepid young producer, Trey. Well, I was going to call him Tre Ford because I mean we've been saying Trey all week, but Trey Smith, our intrepid young producer, usually hits the buttons. Sometimes he gets them wrong. Tonight he's got them right. Introducing Trey here. He's our sports geek. Like every sports show needs a sports geek because, again, Sheldon and I don't know the stats. We barely know the names, and we actually barely know what we're talking about each night. So Trey, welcome to the show. Welcoming you to the new fans, new ears, and listeners. What are we talking about next? Where are we going before our break?
Okay, well, speaking of myself, I like to pat myself on the back. I would just like to shout this out. It's been 100 episodes together, boys.
100 episodes of Trey.
It's been 100 episodes.
Nice.
So
Congratulations.
That was the first time you guys. Yeah, that was. Well, I wanted to make it a surprise. I'm still in the same spot, still in the same basement. Haven't moved for 2 years, but
I've moved.
You have moved. Yeah.
Sheldon's
Your background.
I've reordered my helmets to look like a stoplight. I got my green, yellow, red.
Well, I did rentals in my house.
Actually, that's in reverse, isn't it? I got it backwards, but
yeah, I did rentals in my house, and the wall that I'm facing right now is the wall that I was backing up to. So I had all my stuff. So now I've got that same setup in the back. It's just my house is a little bit weird. One day I'll get a newer place and I'll have a dedicated podcast room with all my stuff. But well, congratulations, Trey, on 100. You old bastard. How do you feel after 100 episodes of tagging out with us? Because you didn't. Listen, you came from a broadcast background.
Yes.
You needed everything very structured and very, you needed to know where we were going every night. 100 episodes in, how would you describe being on the ride with Chevy and Nasty?
I'd say it's been a ride so far. Even looking at like where our show was 100 episodes with a plain black background, and I don't even think I had a webcam back then, but yeah, just throughout 100 episodes, like been joining you guys lots more and more. I'm happy to voice my opinions on things. I'm glad we get into some tizzies every once in a while.
I remember how stressed he used to be because he didn't hear from Sheldon. Yeah. He still doesn't hear from Sheldon.
Yeah,
he didn't hear from you this week.
just kind of make the show myself now, and then you guys are just
Now
kind of
you see, you're getting it. Well, Chevy and I'll have lots to talk about. This started as our Monday night phone call, right? It's just we just
exactly.
include you and all the rest of you guys watching it now. So
Well, Trey
we
used
don't
to be
always need a script.
stressed. Trey used to be stressed. Guys, and now it's like, okay, guys, it's gonna be
This
a
is
great
just
show.
how it is.
We're like Seinfeld of the podcast world. There's a show about nothing.
It is kind of the show about nothing, but it's been great. Like doing the show for the Grey Cup a couple years ago. That was fun. The men's mental health movie nights that we do, that stuff's always great. So I hope it leads to more. I hope an opportunity like this for us turns into something gold. I hope we pick up a few more viewers along the way. And I mean, it's terrible for 960. I feel awful for those guys. They work so hard. I know a lot of them from the broadcasting industry and how it all works. So it's super sad, but I hope it's an opportunity for us. And I think we're getting there, guys. We put on a great show every week. I hope the fans enjoy it. We have lots of new listeners tonight. So this is awesome. And thanks for having me for 100 episodes. I hope it leads to 1,000 more with you guys.
Well, you do a great job, Trey, and I know I bug the shit out of you each week, especially. I know Sheldon kind of tunes out, so I don't know what Sheldon hears or not, especially in our WhatsApp group. Let's invite everyone that's new here. We have a WhatsApp chat. Follow us on our social media, so we'll follow you back either on Facebook or Instagram, and then DM us your number. We can add you to our WhatsApp chat. We have we only have the time and the budget to do one show a week, which is this one right here. And we love it. We have fun, but we don't like stopping the conversation. The conversation goes on all week. And whether it's, Conor McGregor's fight or Hamilton facing the Riders with Jake Dolegala, we get into it all week long. And especially Trey and I, we have such differing opinions that if you want the entertainment to continue beyond this, join our WhatsApp group. You won't be disappointed. And we want you to add your opinions to this. It's really fun. I mean, it gives me a place to be creative in the cracks of my day.
We made a pretty boring game, a blowout game, pretty entertaining this week between the two of us. So
yeah, no, it's awesome. Pretty fun. It's pretty fun.
The WhatsApp chat is so much fun.
So let's put the new listeners to bed. Well, not to bed. We are putting everyone to bed, but why don't we take a break now? When we get back, we'll get into really the conversation that's going to light the fire tonight under Trey and me. It's the quarterback situation in Hamilton. We had it dust up last week. And this week, well, Trey was proven half right, and I was proven half right.
Shipping is only one part of the logistics process. Where and how your inventory is stored plays a major role in how efficiently your business operates. At PFM Freight, we provide secure, fully managed warehousing solutions that connect directly with our transportation network, allowing your goods to move smoothly from storage to delivery without delays. Our facilities are operated with the same precision and oversight we apply to every shipment, giving you confidence that your inventory is organized, protected, and ready when it's needed. By keeping your warehousing and distribution under one provider, you eliminate communication gaps and create a more streamlined, reliable supply chain. Visit pfmfreight.com to learn how our warehousing solutions can support your business.
Do you want your business to be known? YYCCalgaryBusiness.ca is Calgary's only online media platform that gets you noticed. Short-form video content is rapidly taking over as the most effective way to engage your audience. Whether you're being interviewed on a vodcast, sharing a sizzle reel, or even hosting your own show, there is one place you can publicize your business. We want to tell your story and introduce you to our network of empowered business owners and leaders right here in Calgary. Isn't it time you took your digital game to 11? Call us or email us now.
Welcome back to The Ride. Brought to you, as you saw in the commercials, each week by Performance Freight Management, We Drone Real Estate Media, and YYC Business. All those sponsors are also good friends of ours. Daryl, Bruno, and Sheldon, who's also co-host of the show. So thanks for those who are joining us tonight. Any new listeners on The Ride, we appreciate you joining us and giving us a shot. All the old balls hanging out. We love that you're back every week. And can't wait to talk about this one. So I think we get right into it. Last week or 2 weeks ago, we saw Bo Levi Mitchell and Zach Collaros fall to injury in a game that wound up being a bit of a dud. I believe that the score on that one 2 weeks ago wound up being, what was it?
13-11.
14-13 for
okay, sorry.
Winnipeg.
14-13.
Remember they ran 80 yards and then they kicked the field goal? Field goal? Yeah, that's what they did. So anyways, Trey Smith over here was full of hope that the young Canadian quarterbacks, Tre Ford and Tyler Elgersma. Taylor. I can't say his last name. Forget about his first name. Anyways, Elgersma would start.
It's like Latin or Spanish for the Gers, like El Gersma. So just call them the Gers.
The Gers.
Pretty sure.
Well, the Gers didn't get a start, and neither did Ford. And much to the chagrin of our very own producer here. I mean, up in arms, crayon snapped, mad at the old boys club. What the heck? How can Drew Brown get the start in Winnipeg when he hasn't even been there for a week? And how can Tre Ford not get the start when he's the most exciting athlete in the entire CFL? And if we go to that Hamilton-Saskatchewan game, which is the one we were talking about mostly this weekend, Jake Dolegala, who got the start for Hamilton, kind of proved what Trey was saying, that he was not going to be an effective starting quarterback. So do you want to start a little bit about the breakdown of the game? Sheldon, did you get to watch it? What did you see? Trey, what did you see? And then maybe I'll talk a little bit about what I saw.
Well, I think I saw from Dolegala exactly what I saw from him when I was following with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. There's some things to like about the guy. I mean, he's tall, he's lanky. He even used his legs a little bit to help him out once or twice when he needed it to. I have no problem with Dolegala, but I will say this: in the 2 or 3 seasons that I've watched him play in games, he's not made the kind of advancements that you need to see to be considered a potential starting quarterback in this league. He's kind of a gap filler right now. I will say that at times he was finding his game and he was moving the ball. They kicked a ton of field goals. Didn't they have like 4 or 5 field goals? They moved.
I think just 3.
Just 3. Yeah. They moved the ball just fine. But it was
a lot of turnovers. He had one pick for a touchdown, and then his receivers just could not hang on to the ball.
I was just about to say he had like 10 drops from his receivers.
When you have a quarterback that is not accurate, it throws the entire timing of your offense out. Once the ball has to come out on time, which sometimes it did, sometimes it didn't, but it was consistently high.
It was the consistency. It wasn't the accuracy because it was on, but sometimes it wasn't. And sometimes they'd like the one catch where Lawler comes across like a really deep or a shallow crossing route, grabs it. He's got all the field in the world and just gets it popped out. I mean, that's bad luck for the quarterback. Obviously bad luck for the receiver, but I mean, at the end of the day, the stat sheet doesn't look in his favor. And my observation is I think Dolegala was brought in to be what Tommy Stevens is for Saskatchewan, a 6'7" dude that on short yardage, he can stretch his long arms out and get a first down. And the first time they tried it, he got stuffed. And
that's the first CFL QB sneak I've seen failed in like 10 years.
Yeah, well, look at the Stampeders in the Grey Cup, and they'll know where the last one was.
What got me about that game? This is what I want to hear from Trey on this one, though.
Yeah.
Because I was my smoker broke. I had to go. I had an auger clogged. I spent the entire game outside underneath my trailer underneath my smoker getting covered in smoker grease because I was behind on my maintenance, and that's why I jammed. I was frustrated that we didn't get to see Tre Ford go into that game. And I imagine as my phone was just binging from you guys that it was you guys going at it. Trey, how hard was that to see? Did he end up making an appearance in the 4th at least, or?
Yeah. After the game was over, what they should have done when it was kind of close at halftime is put Tre Ford in. They needed a spark, and they were kind of stalling out, and they had a couple unlucky fumbles from receivers and stuff, but They need a spark. Hamilton was in that game. That should have been Tre Ford's shining. Get him in the game because he did play in the fourth and he was fine. But like it was already a 30-point game at that point. It didn't matter. So,
Trey, I'm going to agree with you on that. I'm going to do the rare. I'm going to do the rare thing and agree with you on that. I think Tre Ford should have gone in a little bit earlier. My issue is I don't think. I mean, listen. I know you're calling for Tre Ford like you were last year in Edmonton, and you called for him so much that I thought you were an Edmonton fan last year, and then you flushed him. You flushed him like a kid who pooped his pants and just flushed the underwear down the toilet not to get caught. And I think the same thing's going to happen this year. You said that Trey sends me a tweet, and it says, "Oh, all the Hamilton fans are calling for Tre Ford." I read all the comments on that tweet. No one, maybe a couple of guys were calling for Tre Ford. Most of the people, you know what their reaction was? Oh shit, we're screwed.
Yeah, they did mention that a lot. Yeah. They are screwed.
So they're not calling for Tre Ford. They're calling for Santa Claus right now. Like,
yes, you're right.
They're calling for Bruno.
Well, they're calling for Drew Brown back, or I guess that was Ottawa he was in, but yeah.
They'll take anybody back at this point. They need a warm body who can throw the ball because it's rough sledding out there for Hamilton.
I don't know if Tre Ford's going to do any better. He will get. You know what? This is the thing.
Chevy, he's going to do exactly what he's done in the last 4 seasons. I mean, we know who he is. Like we know who Dolegala is.
Yeah, but Hamilton can still squeak in the playoffs in the East, even if they go 500.
Sure they
but
can.
I'm going to tell you this. This is me playing devil's advocate, and this is not because I'm doing the hate on Tre Ford thing, which I did last week. This is me being a CFL coach. This is what's going to happen, and you're not going to get your Tre Ford wish this week unless he's announced it. But if he hasn't, This is what's going to happen. Scott Milanovich is going to say, "Listen, I saw enough out of Jake Dolegala that I need to give him another shot. A lot of the loss of field position and turnover battle was not his fault. Yes, he had the one pick for a touchdown, but I need to give him another shot to see if he gets better and the team gets better or he gets worse. He's not going to jump to Tre Ford right away, ruin Dolegala completely, and if Tre Ford turns out to be exactly who he was 2 years ago or last year, then he's got no one. I think he's going to absolutely I don't see Dolegala getting any better. So I think he's gonna basically run that one raw. Once that one's done, then he'll go to Tre Ford. He's gonna run that one raw. He'll probably get fired, and Bo Levi Mitchell will come back under a new head coach. That's what I see.
Yeah,
I don't see Tre Ford going in next week.
I see him. I see Dolegala having a shorter leash. It could be a halftime situation
for sure.
But you've got it. He did enough good things that you've got to give him a chance to see he's got to start under his belt. But right now, Hamilton is not in a good situation from a quarterback standpoint. Unless Tre Ford can completely learn this offense and look like a new man. I want to get to, for me, what impressed me is obviously Elger's mother. They sat down. He's a young guy. They don't want to throw him to the wolves and wreck the guy. Yeah. Drew Brown. Yeah, I mean, Drew Brown's done some good things. He's been inconsistent. Played for a lot of bad to very average teams. Dude, he looked good. I mean, to me, this was the stunner of the weekend to see Drew Brown run that offense. The defense played great too. But beating Toronto 30-21, dude, I think if there's anybody that's looking smart, everybody had a good starting quarterback this year. But it's the teams that have the backup guy, because you know your guy's going to get hurt, you know he's going to go down, and you know you need a second guy that you could rely on. Dude, Drew Brown is exactly what the doctor ordered in Winnipeg.
Oh yeah, they made the most timely trade, and took advantage of what I guess Ottawa felt was a glut of quarterbacks in their room between Jake Mayer and McLeod Bethel-Thompson, and I think they traded their best guy away. And really? I think everybody in Ottawa will say that as well, especially after the performance last week by Jake and McLeod Bethel-Thompson. Now, McLeod Bethel-Thompson's a fighter, so I expect a little bit more out of him next week, especially because they're playing Edmonton, and I'm sure he's got a major chip on his shoulder against the Elks. But focusing on Drew Brown, not only did he perform very well, his supporting cast played well for him. And if you talk about Treys that I am a fan of, I mean, besides Trey Smith over here, is Trey, what's his name? I can't even
Vavel.
Trey Vavel. returner for the Bombers. We haven't seen an electric guy like this since what's his name in Toronto?
Coxey.
No, not Coxey.
Javarian
Grant. Jabroni Grant. Yeah, so we haven't seen a guy since that guy in Winnipeg. And when you have that, you have Brady Oliveira that's capable of eating big chunks like he did 2 weeks ago. You got a dangerous team, and the West just got interesting. The West just got interesting because that wasn't a terrible team they beat. I mean, Toronto is not a bad team. Stamps beat them 2 weeks ago, 6 touchdowns, but this was a close game. And with the addition of Drew Brown at the right time, they're dangerous. In fact, they added him before the time was right. They added him before Collaros got injured. Yeah. And I venture to guess that if Drew Brown was available this week, there would be 2 teams vying for his number, and that would be Hamilton and Winnipeg. So good for him getting a lease on life. I'm sure he's got the Ottawa game. When are they playing Ottawa? I bet he's got that one circled on his calendar because this week they are playing.
I think they play Winnipeg, or no, that's Toronto that plays Hamilton.
Yeah, Winnipeg's in Ottawa this week.
Oh, there you go. How convenient.
Is it? No, I think is it this week?
Week 7, yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh no, we're in week 6 this week.
Are we? No.
Yeah, we are.
Let me see.
Am I looking at the no, guys? This is
No, we're going.
Or no, you're right. We are in week 7. Yeah, you're right.
Edmonton's playing BC. Sheldon, you are right. Big matchup this week. Big match. You're right, Sheldon. I was looking at the wrong thing. So Edmonton's actually paying BC. So that's going to be an interesting battle because Edmonton, that's their only loss of the year is to BC Lions. And BC only has 1 victory. So what do you say on this one? Is Edmonton going to continue their dominance, or is BC starting to become the team we think they should be?
Yeah, at this point, I've got to stick with Edmonton because they're clearly doing something right there, and it's more than just performance from the quarterback.
Running back
and Rankin.
The running. Yeah, well,
Rankin's been unbelievable.
But so is their defense. That second year linebacker they have.
Johnson. Or I was gonna say Contrail Johnson had like 4 picks the last 2 games.
There's something going on at Edmonton right now that I'm loving watching this team. I'm not an Eskimo fan or Elks fan. Certainly not an Elks fan. But they're doing something special there. Nathan Rourke has got to come around and start. I mean, he's honest. He's done a lot of things right. I think he's like leading or first or second in the league in passing yards. Yeah. He's done a lot, but he's kind of done what Bo Levi has done in the past, which is put up a bunch of yards and not win games. So at some point, I think I'm going to go with the Elks is my favorite in this game, but BC has to start learning how to win games. They got some good players. Sometimes their offensive line looks like world beaters. Sometimes they're just letting guys run through. They've got to figure out their identity, and they're going to have to figure out quickly before the West starts running away from them. Because right now they are kind of, in my books, they haven't proven anything to me.
Yeah, no, I agree. Stamps are playing Montreal. They lost last week to the Alouettes, 37-30. A little closer a little closer in the scoreboard than I think it was on the field when you watched the game. It felt like it was like that case of what we said would happen. Vernon Adams goes from a world beater game where he's got 6 touchdowns to something where he doesn't do as well. I watched the end of
and looks uncomfortable doing it.
Yeah,
that's what got me about Vernon Adams this week. I still love the guy. I was thrilled when we signed him. He was a great change from the Jake Mayer days. But I still don't know what we have with him because he won't play a 3-game sequence the same way. But Jamin always warned me when we first signed him, said that's how he's been at every club. So maybe this is who he is. Maybe we're fortunate to have a quarterback that'll keep us competitive. But again, maybe he'll go out there and be world beater again against Montreal next week.
What I'm looking at, Sheldon? He still has had 3 touchdowns, 272 yards, and again, 0 interceptions. He hasn't thrown an interception in I don't know how many hundreds of attempts now. It's dating back almost to last season. He hasn't had a pick. Yeah. So he's doing some good things, but they're not. Something's not clicking there this week. I would have thought he would have been less consistent. I would look at that because I didn't watch the full game. I'm looking at his stats. He actually didn't do too bad. His completion percentage wasn't that high. He was 20 for 36. And I think that goes to the fact that they couldn't get their ground game going. 10 carries, 50,
the first
10
half
carries,
off,
50.
he was below 500 in the first half.
But I'm saying 10 carries, 55 yards for Dedrick Mills is basically the recipe to stopping the Stamps. If Dedrick Mills can get his legs going, then Vernon Adams can do his thing a little bit more freely. And I think that was probably Montreal's game plan. We're going to stop Dedrick Mills, force Adams to do his thing. And they did. It just wasn't enough. And Montreal's obviously firing on all cylinders. Davis Alexander, he had a great game. I mean, 22 for 30, 300 yards. He only had one touchdown, so I don't know where all their other touchdowns came from, field goals and whatnot. But yeah, look, that's nice. A home and home series. Are you guys going to go to that game this weekend?
I'm at the lake.
You at the lake, Trey?
No, I'll be working this weekend, but I made my power rankings again.
So, Trey's power rankings.
Yeah, let's wrap this segment up with that.
Yeah, we need a CFL up.
We need a splitter, like a ba. Rob Evans is going to be at the game. Rob, maybe I'll see you there, bud.
I bet it'll be a great game. But I'm not expecting Calgary to beat the best team in the CFL again.
It's hard to beat the same team twice, so Trey. It's
hard to beat the same team twice. I guess, but they're pretty good, and that's why I have them ranked number 1. So Montreal, I still think is the team to beat right now. They look really good. Davis Alexander and Phil Plott seem to be clicking. Number 2, I still think is Saskatchewan. I think they're the best team in the West. I think they can beat any team on any given day.
Yeah.
And their defense is just so good. And they made Dolegala look like a Cleveland Brown quarterback from 10 years ago. I went with Edmonton, number 3. I was impressed with that Ottawa win. The Ottawa did kind of fall apart at the end there. Meyer was terrible, and they had to play Bethel Thompson. But Rankin, I think, is the leader for MOP right now. He's been so good. Another 3 touchdowns. Their defense looks really good. I think they're legit. 4, I put Calgary. I still think Calgary's better than what their record shows. I think they look really good. I think Vernon Adams has been incredible. I thought he had a great game, too, against Montreal. But, yeah, I don't know. Just maybe couldn't get Mills going, which has kind of been their engine this year. Then I put Winnipeg 5. I think Drew Brown's better than I give him credit for. Maybe that's just because Ottawa has been so bad. So I think they're back in it this year for a title, even with Drew Brown at the helm. 6, BC. I think BC is better than their record, too. I think a game against Edmonton this week is interesting. I think they get the job done. I like Rourke. He's been great as well. And then I just have the 3 East teams to finish it off. These guys are just brutal. Toronto, I thought, was pretty good when they beat Saskatchewan, but they looked terrible the last 2 weeks. Hamilton's in bad shape, boys. They looked like the best team maybe in the league 2 weeks ago. Now they look absolutely terrible. Dolegala didn't get any help. His receivers looked like they had butter on their hands. Their defense was atrocious at the end. Bad shape for Hamilton. What a turn of events from 1 to 8 in 2 weeks.
You know,
and to wrap this up really quick, I don't know if Ottawa even knows they have games anymore. They look terrible.
The most exciting thing in Ottawa is McLeod Bethel Thomps's beard. That looks awesome in that helmet. Yeah. I love it. Now put your power rankings back up there for a sec. I agree with most of it. I'm not sure between Calgary and Winnipeg. I'll go with that ranking for sure. For now, we got the better record, I believe. No, we don't. But
no, you don't.
Know, who's to say? But what's curious to me, guys, if we're sitting here having the same conversation in 6 weeks, you could see both 6 and 7 jump up about 4 spots each. I mean, Chad Kelly has not gotten things going. The Toronto's still figuring things out in life after Dinwiddie. I still think this is a good quality team that just hasn't found their identity. They have not put it together yet. And the same things in BC. They have some lethal players. They've got some talent there that can, once they figure it out, look out, because they could be real power ranking movers. And I could see us talking about them 3 and 4 if they play up to the level that I expected them to at the start of the season.
So let me ask you this. Everyone looks pretty safe. Jason Moss, obviously Corey Mace, Mark Killam, Dave Dickinson, Mike O'Shea, Buck Pierce first year.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
let's get into Toronto. Do we see a situation where mid-season they pull Hufnagel out of the consultant chair and put him on the sideline? Because, I mean, it's hard to keep that dog down.
It wouldn't be the first time they've done that. But what's the coach's names there? Is it Miller?
Andrews.
Andrews?
Oh, no, Miller. You're right.
Yeah,
You're
Miller.
Right. Miller's
I actually like the guy. He intrigues me. He's got a level head. He does a lot of things that I like. So I don't know. If you're going to ask me who I think's job may be on the hot seat right now, and this has been true for me for a few years, actually, I'm not sure that I buy into Scott Milanovic. I like the guy. He's a good football mind, good football legacy, but it's just that teams never really, in my opinion, come together underneath him. I heard comments from Dolegala saying, this is the most complex offense I've ever played in. That's also why I don't think Tre Ford is going to be able to figure this thing out. I think it takes a special type of quarterback. Remember, he was benching Bo Levi Mitchell every 3 weeks for not executing.
But that's the thing, right? A few years ago, Harris goes down. Craig Dickinson gets fired. Like, you are tethered to your quarterback in the CFL. Ryan Dinwiddie.
But I'm saying he didn't even have success with that quarterback.
But what I'm saying is Milanovic was having success with Bo. Once they figured each other's relationship out, Bo's been lights out for almost 2.5 years now. Since he took over that Labor Day game and he crushed Chad Kelly and the Argonauts a couple of years ago, he hasn't looked back. Yeah, he's lost some games, but he's done great. And they've been building, right? But losing that guy with the guys he has in their place, he gets guys fired. Just like what happened in Saskatchewan when Harris went down and Dolegala and whoever else took the helm. It was a disaster. So when you lose your QB in the CFL, it's a disaster for a coach. Now, this is the curious one. I mean, you used to give that expression, Sheldon, burn the boats. Ryan Dinwiddie burned the boats in Ottawa. He traded a future star with a lot of potential in Drew Brown. Like, of all the young guys in the CFL, the guy with probably the most potential is Drew Brown. He traded him because he believed in his guy, Jake Mayer, and McLeod Bethel Thompson, who got him to the Grey Cup a few years ago.
Getting to it, yeah, that was I can't figure that. And I think there's a lot of CFL fans that can't figure that one out.
How short is his leash in Ottawa if this experiment fails?
He's got time because they just made him the guy.
Yeah.
And he's going to have a year or two, but Ottawa's always struggled from not having a true quarterback or a healthy quarterback. He single-handedly got him out of town, right? So he's safe for a year or two. They've invested a lot into this guy, and he's learning the whole role of GM and head coach. And quite truthfully, some guys, the combined role is just too big for, especially early on. I'd be more worried about Buck Pearson in BC. If he doesn't get this thing sorted out, I mean, and it's to the point right now, as bad as they are, he may be in a position where he's forced to start firing defensive coordinators, offensive coordinators, special teams guys, just to show that he's trying to shake up the system. There's almost no excuse for BC to be as bad as they are. So I'd be more worried about Buck Pearson's job than I would be about Dinwiddie's job right now, even though I'd fire him tomorrow as a general manager because that was a bonehead move.
Why is it so hard to find a quarterback in the CFL? I had a theory the other day, but I don't know if it plays. This is my theory of why it's so hard. You got guys that come in. A lot of guys that played quarterback in the CFL were either scouted specifically to be a CFL style quarterback from a small school. I mean, very, very rare do we get a guy that comes up from Michigan, Ohio State, Miami. Like, we don't get those guys. We get Henry Burris from Temple, Jeff Garcia from Sacramento State, Doug Flutie, Boston College, because he was too small. Like, we don't get the big stars. And I wonder if it's because we can't pay a guy that went to Ohio State enough to sit for a year or two and figure the game out, because it's a completely different game than the U.S. college game. It's not that these guys, I don't think, can't get it done. It's just they've got to relearn entire offenses, entire fields, entire schemes in order to be adequate. And when you're paying a backup quarterback $70,000 because he's probably not going to see the field, you're not going to get the big name guys. You're going to get the Jake Dolegalas from UMass, or you're going to get who's the guy that was in Toronto that took over for Chad Kelly? Not Arbuckle, the guy before him. Wherever the heck he played. And I think that's the problem with the CFLs. We don't have the bucks to pay quarterbacks the development. My question is going to be this: do we have to have a separate salary structure for quarterbacks? Because we see how much it affects the play when we have bad ones. Do we need to say, hey, listen, this is the budget for players, but that remember they used to have that marquee rule? Like, we have a $3 million budget for quarterbacks, so we can bring in Joe Ohio State that didn't make it in the NFL, that maybe got into some trouble, or whatever is the case, because we're definitely not getting those guys here, and the game is suffering when a guy like Bo Levi Mitchell goes down, and, my grandmother can play better than the guy that they put in, and she's dead.
My real quick take on that is no. I mean, that marquee player never did anything. It just wasted a bunch of money and time. You treat a guy like a prima donna, and he's gonna perform like a prima donna and be out of the league the second he can. I think what you've got to do a better job of is developing young quarterbacks, and I don't care what school they came from. I mean, if you're coming from a drop back passing conference, the Big Ten, I think your chances are maybe even small to really fit into the CFL. I'm looking for that smaller run and gun school, Division I AA even, where I've got a guy who's an amazing athlete and a guy that absolutely loves the game and will play until somebody forces him to get off the field. The second you start going, especially in the age of NIL money, you almost can't pay a guy enough to come up here just from a money standpoint because he's losing his cred. I want the guy that's hungry and is smart. I want that Belichick receiver that everybody passed on and it turns him into a star, special teamers. But then we have to be a little bit smarter in the way that we develop these guys as well. And I think we've got a lot of talent in coaching right now. If anything, rather than paying more, I would pay for more quarterbacks or have a special program for development, increase budgets for that. Because you're not wrong. I mean, this league lives and dies with their quarterbacks. This year started off amazingly because every team had one. But the second you start going into number two, the league starts looking like number two.
Yeah.
And with that, I think it's time to take a break so that we all can take our number twos before we come. You like
taking
that
a number two?
You like that? You like that?
I like that transition, but you don't have time for a number two.
I was just trying to see how many more number two metaphors I could come up with. So
cut quick. Quick cut.
Shipping is only one part of the logistics process. Where and how your inventory is stored plays a major role in how efficiently your business operates. At PFM Freight, we provide secure, fully managed warehousing solutions that connect directly with our transportation network, allowing your goods to move smoothly from storage to delivery without delays. Our facilities are operated with the same precision and oversight we apply to every shipment, giving you confidence that your inventory is organized, protected, and ready when it's needed. By keeping your warehousing and distribution under one provider, you eliminate communication gaps and create a more streamlined, reliable supply chain. Visit pfmfreight.com to learn how our warehousing solutions can support your business.
Do you want your business to be known? YYCCalgaryBusiness.ca is Calgary's only online media platform that gets you noticed. Short-form video content is rapidly taking over as the most effective way to engage your audience. Whether you're being interviewed on a vodcast, sharing a sizzle reel, or even hosting your own show, there is one place you can publicize your business. We want to tell your story and introduce you to our network of empowered business owners and leaders right here in Calgary. Isn't it time you took your digital game to 11? Call us or email us now.
Welcome back to the ride. A lot of CFL talk, good, interesting CFL talk, right? Like now it's heating up for us. I think it's interesting as hell. We have 3 Canadian quarterbacks in the league. We have a bit of a glut or a void at quarterbacks, and Trey wants the Canadians to do so well, and the only one that has the best chance of doing well, he's not even winning.
Yeah, I don't think we have to go back to the CFL this segment, but I will say one guy we didn't talk about though was El Gersmeyer. We've talked about him very little. I still think that he's got some potential. We're going to find out if he's more of a Nathan Rourke or more of a Dolegala, in the coming years. But
fair enough.
He's in a good situation to learn under a stable team, and Drew Brown might be the next big name. I think he's already 30 years old, but he might be the guy we're talking about here for a few years.
Yeah, fair enough. The World Cup is still underway. There's still, was it 4 teams left now?
Yep.
4. So we've got, who is it? Argentina, Spain, England, and
France.
First
time that the semifinals is the top 4 teams in the world in a World Cup.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So it's
the best of the best.
Who's winning this?
So tomorrow at 1, we have France versus Spain. France is ranked number 1, and Spain is ranked number 3, I think. It's going to be pretty hard to beat. Yeah, it's going to be pretty hard to beat France. So the team's pretty stacked. They score a lot.
Pretty. He's going to win the Golden Boot. Hey, he should take.
He's got a lot of goals. Yeah.
And
he's going to have probably.
And assists.
Yeah, he's probably going to have 10 goals, which is the most ever in a World Cup.
And he's
he's like 28 or so.
Well,
26.
Messi's got one more than him. And I think he's what, 30,
37, 38.
Cozy writes Spain, Italy, France, and Argentina. No, I think that's a dig on Chevy. I don't think Italy's in there. I think that's England.
No, Italy. No.
Wait, let me check, Chevy. Let me check. Is it Italy in?
No, just missed. And then Wednesday at 1, we have Argentina, England. First time England's been in the semis for a while. I'm cheering for them. I like the Harry Kane and Jude Bellingham. I like the song "Hey Jude" by the Beatles, and that's kind of like been their theme song with Jude Bellingham. So I'm cheering for them.
I was hoping Norway would go through. I like.
Everybody's cheered for Norway, I think, but they.
Well, let me ask you this honestly, Trey. I think you're going to follow because you're a sports nerd on the show. Chevy, is the World Cup over, or how closely are you actually following this? Are you going to book time off, record the game, watch it tomorrow night?
I asked that question last week because I'm kind of like, meh. Like I watched the Norway game because I'll tell you the reason I watched the Norway game is because I started getting really a lot of Elgard Haaland in my feed, and he's a real funny guy.
Erling Haaland,
he's
everybody's been picking up on him.
And I'm like, I'm in the Viking row, the whole thing. Now it's like, I guess you know what? I watched a little bit of France game, and I have to say, watching Mbappe, that goal he scored through the screen, I was like, that was like magical. So, I'd like to see him in the finals. I'd like to see Messi. I would watch if it's Messi versus Mbappe in the final. If it's England or Switzerland in the final versus I'm not in.
And Messi did some scoring earlier in the tournament, didn't he? Or is he just watching?
He's still second in goals.
Oh, yeah. He scores in chunks. He scores in chunks. So I'll pay attention if I'm home. I think it's like you. If I'm at the lake, I'm at the lake. If I'm under a barbecue pit, I'm under a barbecue pit. But if I'm washing dishes or folding laundry and it's on, I'll turn it on.
Yeah,
I'll turn it on. Okay, let's move on. This weekend,
Studs and Duds.
There you go. What do we got, boys?
UFC. We have to start with UFC.
Yeah.
Conor McGregor, the big comeback match that everyone was talking about. I mean, tens of millions of dollars switching hands for 69 seconds of Conor McDavid doing the leprechaun shuffle.
Conor
McGregor. McDavid had a better chance of lasting longer.
He would have gone more than 69 seconds.
Yeah, he would have gone.
No, he might not
have. I was pretty. I'm not a big McGregor fan. I liked him in Roadhouse. I thought he was great in his time and his heyday at the UFC. He played the villain. He was loud. He was brash. He kind of brought it on another level. He was the post GSP. GSP was the I respect you so much, and McGregor was this larger than life bad guy that just ate it up, and he did a good job selling tickets. And he did a great job selling tickets this time. It's just he didn't show up, or at least his knee didn't show up, and it was pretty disappointing. Can you imagine if you were sitting there paying tens of thousands of dollars for those tickets?
Oh yeah. So I've talked to a few UFC guys since then, and obviously it's all over the internet. Like, was he injured going into the match? Was this all just about keeping the promotion going and getting the bigger payday? Trey, what do you think? Was this a genuine injury from that kick? Or when you break down a lot of the, like him taking off his shoe, well, he looked a little unstable. Where do you come out on this?
Yeah, I think that's just conspiracy theories being conspiracy theories. Like, I think McGregor has seemed to have turned somewhat of a leaf. Like, he's obviously admitted that like he was drinking and on cocaine and he was in bad space, and now he's like a big believer in God and he's sober and he doesn't do any of this. So why would you go in there and like say you're going to prove it to yourself? You don't need to prove to anybody, and then take a fall for a few $1,000,000. I think it was a legit injury. It looked like he just legit slipped and fell awkwardly, and the meniscus is torn. He's got one more fight left. I guess we'll see him probably run it back once more and hopefully it goes better. But there's just no way he was injured.
I read a theory out there, and it may or may not be true. I mean, it's probably just speculation that he had met with Dana earlier on. They knew that something was up with his knee, but they had to keep it on the hush because of the Vegas betting line. Yeah, he thought he could fight through it. Not that he thought he was injured enough to fight, but they kept it quiet enough because they didn't want it to affect the betting line. And some people made big time money off of this just for him showing up, right? Because if they called the fight beforehand, then I don't think the bets would have gone through. But they probably cashed a lot of bets right up until the moment the fight started. 69 seconds later, a lot of people made a lot of money on that just for him being there. A lot of people lost the money.
Yeah, there's a few million dollars on Conor McGregor.
I did see. I watched some of his clips warming up though, and I didn't see a knee injury warming up, but I did see Cozy's talking about a lack of confidence. He wasn't the same guy, and I don't know if it's this whole I've given up cocaine and I found Jesus, right? And so he's being like he didn't look as sharp or as intense or as Cozy says confident as he did. He didn't look like the cocky killer that he used to be.
I mean, the first thing he did was jump, kick, outstretch his leg, and then it snapped, and that was it. I mean, you can't be confident after that. I mean, it was weird.
Yeah,
He kept
happens.
I was like, what's wrong with the mat? Why are his feet slipping on the mat? Does he have to change the material? I was like, what is going on? And the next thing you know, he's like, oh yeah, he's out. It was disappointing. I mean, that fight was supposed to start at 10:30, and I think it started at 8:30. So,
the co-main event or the fight right before that, the same thing, wasn't that like a first 1 minute?
Patty the Batty, baby. He was awesome. That was awesome. Yeah.
That was a
so for you, was that your money's worth to see a quick upset in the round before, in the match before, or was that also if you paid for a ticket, was that a disappointment as well? Like, is this like back when the UFC had to apologize to Calgary and say we'll get you another event? Or
I think it's like almost a turning or passing the baton, maybe. Like Patty's the co-main event to Conor, and he has this great performance, and people love him, and he's got the chance and the cornrows. He's a white Scouser. Like, how could you not love him? And if McGregor goes down, and we know the UFC's going to need a new star, it could be this guy. So I just wanted to shout out our guy
Trey,
Patty.
We know what the best part. So the UFC event was the dud, but of the night, we know what the stud was, right? The best part of the night, Trey. Yeah. Come on, Trey. What was the best part of the night? You know it. Your favorite. America's sweetheart. You got it?
Of course they do. Sophie, we talked about her last week.
Sophie
I guess she's
Cunningham,
big UFC fan, and Dana White and her were talking, and she said, I want to be a ring girl.
Literally 5 minutes before she did
I just want to be a ring girl because you can be a ring girl. And 2 minutes later, she's up there holding the sign. Sophie, we love her.
Pointing the finger, talk about capitalizing on her biggest moment ever.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, this girl started coming on my feed a few weeks ago, mostly because of Caitlin Clark and her interactions and her fierce defense. But she's built a name for herself. But that finger pointing moment, that was her. I don't want to play this down to her Hawk to a moment, but that finger pointing moment was epic. It was awesome. Like, they're gonna, I don't know if they're gonna be talking about it in 3 weeks from now, 3 months from now, 3 years from now. But in the moment, that was the biggest thing. And I think probably that was a bigger moment than Caitlin Clark has delivered for the WNBA. Because that got them viral on Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah, and I think this is not just Sophie Cunningham's 5 minutes of fame. I think she's become America's sweetheart.
She's a star.
She's like, she's bigger than, like, she's great at what she does in the WNBA. She went the next day, and I think she popped 20 points coming off the bench for is it the Fever she plays for?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have even known that 3 weeks ago, but because she's got the needle moving, you're paying attention. And she is not just living 5 minutes of fame. I know you mentioned Hawk 2 as a joke, but that was 5 minutes of fame. Oilers girl was 5 minutes of fame for their viral moment. This is a girl that did something, went viral, but there's substance to her, and people are following her, and she's going to probably be featured, I'm sure, in some cover girl makeup thing, and she's probably going to be the
Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue,
you know, or some sports energy drink, all this stuff, right?
Totally.
Like, good for her. Seems like a great personality. I listened to her on her podcast. I listened to her right after she went on. She's like, yeah, no, I just told Dana White I want to do it. And he said, you ready to go? And she's like, man, I was terrified, but I did it. And she looked like a natural, like just, you know what? WWE's next. They're going to offer a contract because they like big names. And you know what she reminds me of back in the day? I don't know if Trey remembers her, but he probably does. He was a little boy. Stacy Keibler.
Oh yeah. I know who that is.
Reminds me of Stacy Keibler. Just couldn't do any wrong. Couldn't do any wrong in the ring, and she never wrestled, but everyone loved her, and I think that's what we're seeing is the second coming of the Stacy Keibler.
That's funny. So she never wrestled?
No,
I thought she did for some reason.
Maybe at the end, a couple of matches, but they were like pillow fights. You know, they weren't like the wrestlers.
The diva matches.
Yeah, she was not a diva. She was like, you know.
Well, I'll tell you what, Sophie Cunningham may not wrestle, but she is an absolute warrior on the court. Like she is fun to watch. In fact, we talked about it with the Professional Women's Hockey League. You know, it's some good hockey. Yeah. But with masks, they just have not found a way to get people to connect to the athletes yet. I can't name you any of them. Maybe I can name you 2 or 3.
Yep.
But once you can get a new league, it's not even a new league, but once you can get these stars exposed to the fans, and once they start showing up on your reels, you can't ignore them any longer. So this is a game changer for the WNBA.
And let's be real. People like to see good-looking people perform well in sports.
That's what paid for me all those years. I wasn't that good of a defensive tackle.
Yeah,
but people
love
just
looking at you. It's the same thing. They love staring at my ass. That's why I snapped forever. I just have great butt cheeks. You know.
Here's my calves.
Oh
God! You got another stutter?
All right, yeah, I got 2 more for us for tonight.
All right.
So I guess we'll just go back to more female stars. Ella Langley.
Oh yeah.
This was the concert that I went and saw this weekend with Gabby and my friends, and we had a great time. She sold out Cowboys tent, thousands of people there. It was a bit of a disaster. Is that at the end? But
is that a picture of her with Nahid Nenshi on the left? What is that?
We're canceled.
Keep going.
Sheldon, fat shaming.
No, dude, I'm talking about the hair. Like it looks like Nahid Nenshi from here.
Oh yeah, sure.
I was just looking at the stomach.
Besides, I can't fat shame anyone, Chev. Come on, bud.
Yeah. So tell us about your experience, Trey. Was it awesome?
Yeah, it was everything we could hope for and more. She was awesome. I took Gabby out to Chuck Wagons the next day too. So we had some delicious food at the Stampede, and it was a great time this weekend. So the concert was awesome.
High Valley. How was the night show with High Valley?
Yeah, they were great. High Valley. I think they're local, right? Or maybe just Canadian band. I knew a couple of their songs from the radio, so we had to sing along.
Good.
And
they're really good. I enjoyed them.
Yeah, we had a great time this weekend. So
that's good. Well,
10 out of 10 stud stuff. Too many people though. So it's just
I got to ask you one question. You got to
people.
throw that back up there though, because I can't let you get away without talking about food a little bit. What's that middle dish? What am I looking at there?
So we stopped at a Mexican food truck.
Nachos.
So we had some nachos. So bria, queso, lettuce, tomato, some mayo I think was on there, and then we had the guac and the salsa. It was delicious. I got a freshly squeezed lemonade from them too, so that was great. And the mini donuts too, some cinnamon sugar on them. How could you beat it?
Yeah, there you go.
I'm not a big like deep fried Oreo or cotton candy guy or whatever, like all the festival and fair food you'd find in the middle grounds there. So we went to the Big Four and found some real good stuff. And like Sotera was there. They had some Greek stuff, Thai stuff. Viet stuff, but I went with the Mexican, and it was a good choice. I was happy with it.
Yeah, right
You're
on.
gonna go to Westerner Days in Red Deer this weekend.
Oh, is that next? That's this weekend?
That's this weekend. They got a couple of good bands playing. They got 5440s playing on Friday.
Oh, that was my band back in the day, back in the early 90s. Love 5440.
They also have on Saturday, they've got Chad Brownlee playing. He's really good. I like Chad Brownlee. So they got a couple of, I like Westerner Days. I've been last year with my my girlfriend and her kids, and we had a great time because less lineups, same rides, same kind of food, and everything's just a little less expensive.
Yeah.
So you can get a ticket to go unlimited riding up until tomorrow for $60, and it includes entry. That's pretty good because I think the Stampede is ridiculously priced, but the Stampede's a great event. I enjoyed it. I'm glad you had a good time, Trey. What else you got for us for studs and duds?
Okay.
Chevy gets kicked out of ball hockey.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that, and then I'll show one more. Tell us about you and your sons getting booted from a ball hockey game. All three of you guys, I heard.
You got any pictures? It was a historic night.
I did. I don't have the photo, but I could pull it off your Instagram because I think you posted on your Instagram, didn't you?
It was a historic night as all three. Well, no, not all three, because I have a fourth one that doesn't play with us. But three Chevy boys got kicked out of the same game. It just so happened that my youngest son got into a fight. And he got put in a box with the other guy he was fighting with. And, they kept beaking each other. And my other son jumped in to protect his brother or to get his back. So they both wind up in the box. And they're arguing. The refs back and forth. A lot going on. So I go to calm them down and saying, guys, listen, it's your last game before you go on holidays. And, we want to play. We want to finish the game together. It's the second period. Don't get thrown out. Well, while the ref was sorting out the penalties, Brett and the other guy got thrown out, so they were the first to go. In the ensuing power play, it's 5-on-3. I'm killing it off with a different guy than my usual partner, and this guy's like the calmest guy. He's not a priest, but he has that aura where nothing bugs him. And we did a good job killing the penalty, and usually I'm the big brute, and a guy, like right as our goalie froze it, this guy, just like the guy on my team, my buddy Mark, he just kind of put himself between the player that was coming in, our goalie, to protect him. And the guy called him a name. And we started walking off very calmly to the bench because we were like tired. And the guy said something else, so I'm not going to repeat it on the air here. And Mark just turned around, and I've never seen this because I'm telling you, that would be a me reaction, turned around and punched the dude in the face. And it was like, I saw a crayon snap. You know the way Trey's crayons snap when I talk about Tre Ford? His crayon snapped. Punched the guy in the face, and all of a sudden, two guys come in on him. So I'm like, oh, crap, I guess I got to protect my buddy. I had no clue. So I go in. Guy cross-checks me right right under the nose. So then I put my hand in his face, and I tried to rip his head off his shoulders. I managed to rip his face mask off his helmet, which is not too easy to do, but I did because I wasn't letting go, because after he cross-checked me in the face, I wasn't having. So I ripped his face mask off his helmet and threatened his life. I hope he has a little bit of poo in his pants. Then I got thrown out. And then I'm in the shower. I get out of the shower, and I hear our team cheer. Ah! But then all of a sudden, I hear my son Luke in the hallway walk into the locker room just yelling. And so I'm like, Luke, what happened? He's like, Dad, I got out of the penalty box. I scored the prettiest goal you would have ever seen in your life. I faked a wraparound, came back over, backhand, top shelf, opposite corner. He's like, and then the referee said I was celebrating excessively. and I got a penalty. And then when I went to the penalty box and I yelled at the ref for BS called, he threw me out. So all three Chevys got thrown out by the second period. We were in the showers, and then we were cheering on the Giants. But it was kind of cool, and it kind of related to your Stampede, so I'm glad we talked about this. We were at Max Bell, and it was our last regular season game. One of the buddies, Donnie, brought the barbecue out. We barbecued a bunch of Costco sausage. We had a couple of drinks, and we watched the fireworks from Max Bell. So if you haven't ever gone to Max Bell and watched the fireworks, one of the best places you could see the drone show, the fireworks. So we got to enjoy the fireworks as we were having our year ender, and the Chevys got thrown out of the game. So I think it was a great father-son bonding moment, although not the most proud moment of my life. I had been kind of disconnected with my boys lately. They've been so busy and we don't really connect. So this was actually something we bonded on. It's stupid, but
you know what? Can I just say something here?
Go ahead.
I'm relieved and I'm excited Remember the old shit. We talked about 100 episodes ago. 100 episodes ago, we'd see something fighting. Well, that just wasn't called for. You have to find better ways to resolve your anger and your issue. You are so painfully sanctimonious talking about anything that off-color that happened in a sporting event.
No.
And here you and your two boys get thrown out of a game and you celebrate it. Why? Because it was freaking awesome and it's a great story to tell. I will never again let you talk down on when you see a bunch of third graders fighting in a hockey tournament.
I think it's a little different when it's third graders. I don't know.
I still say you were a little too sanctimonious back then. I love this story. This one made my night. Love it, Chevy.
Yeah, well, it was kind of fun. I didn't expect it. It was like pulling the truck last year. I didn't know I needed it until I did it. And I was like, well, we did it as a family. We did it as a family. So, yeah.
Trey, what you got?
Okay, last one. I don't know if you guys saw this. I'll share my screen. It's pretty good.
And yes, Chevy, I did just call you painfully sanctimonious. I don't know where that came from, but
I don't even know what sanctimonious means. I can't spell that word.
Me either. I had no
I don't
idea.
know if I should feel insulted.
I'm trying to figure out if I used it correctly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, I don't know if you guys saw. Yeah, it was at Yellowstone.
Full screen.
Yeah.
Oh, I will.
I'm sure you guys have seen this already, but let's watch it one more time.
But yeah, this is probably the
you gotta
funniest.
go to the beginning.
Look at the dude on the left with a big beard. He's a
beginning.
distance away from that buffalo.
But look at the guy with the oh, there he is. The other kid has a Dolphins jersey. People are saying this is Bill's Mafia and an AFC East grudge match here. The kid has a Dolphins jersey. The Buffalo there sees it, is not too happy. Oh, take a picture. Look how he gets up. Oh my God, that's power. It's like I gotta
look at that.
That's how I
tail.
get out of bed in the morning.
Look at that tail. This is what I've been told by the
That's
buffalo
his dick,
experts out
Sheldon.
there. No, is that tail, when it starts flapping like that, that's when it's time to start saying, okay, I'm getting away from this beast. And then when the tail's up, it is on.
That's terrifying. I don't know what these guys are thinking.
He's doing a good job. Except right now his grandson's in there somewhere, right? So
play hide go see with a buffalo.
Well, what would you do? Car comes up, tries to
get in a
off.
car.
Hide in the box.
Oh man.
Oh my God.
What do you think set it off? Is there anything that says what set the buffalo off? Because I mean, it was just chilling. It targeted him.
It wasn't chilling. One is mating. So here's what I understand happened. It's mating season. So these things have more testosterone than you could ever imagine coursing through their bodies at this point.
I told you that wasn't his tail.
Then the second thing is, I think it was that beard. I think that beard reminded him like a challenging buffalo freaking mane or something like that. He targeted the beard. I swear to God. Because usually what you see is the Asian tourist from China that doesn't know anything. Like when we go over there and we get attacked by panda bears or koala bears and they rip people's arms off. I don't know if koalas do, but I think pandas do. This guy apparently was from there. He knew buffalo safety, but just standing there with that big beard and holding up his phone, I think he just offended the thing.
Yeah, must be. You know, Cozy says that I'm a bit of a hypocrite. Guys, I've always told you guys that when I play ball hockey, it's a different switch. Like, it's a different switch that goes on. In fact, when Sheldon played for the Calgary Stampeders and I was with the Edmonton Eskimos back in the day on Labor Day, I'll recall that, yeah, you know, when the fight started, I was right in the thick of it. I'm a guy that will defend my teammates. Like I said, I wasn't starting a fight, but when Mark's crayon snapped and he threw that punch, I knew I had to step in to help him out. I didn't think I was going to get one in the mouth. Yeah. I wasn't too proud of Brett. See, this is the thing. My son Brett, he's 17 years old. You talk about testosterone. This kid is like, it's oozing out of his pores. He goes to the ball hockey games looking to beat up a man. Because he's like, Dad, I can take any man, and he can. He's freaking strong. Like, he's a beast. So he loves the idea that he can beat a grown-ass man, and he's 17. Luke is the jump-in guy. He'll be like, oh, he's not going to start it, but if it's going on, he's going to see if he can find a way to get his licks in. And for me, I actually don't like to fight. I'm not downplaying the violence, but I don't like to fight. But everyone thinks that they could take me on because I'm bigger than everyone else. The little guys, the big guys, they always got a chip on the shoulder, and I play the cleanest game possible. But if you piss me off and you cross-check me in the mouth, well, I'm going to rip your helmet off, and I'm going to try and rip your head off. That's the way it is. Like, I see red. I never played football like that. I don't play Monopoly like that. I don't play Risk like that. But when it comes to ball hockey, I just have the switch. So, Jamin, if you want me to show up to one of your Sunday night games, I'm just telling you, you got to be prepared. You know, what is it? Mess with the bull, get the horns, as we saw Mr. Beardo in that last video. I don't know. That's the way it is. But I do not encourage violence to kids that are under the age of making their own decisions. Because I think when you're a parent influencing kids to be violent in a sport that shouldn't be, you got 5-year-olds. I don't like that. So yeah, if I see a group of 5-year-olds beating the crap out of each other, and
Chevy, you just about redeemed yourself, buddy.
I'm being sanctimonious. Sanctimonious.
Well, I said painfully sanctimonious. Somebody needs to put up a Google not a translation.
I'm going to call him Mr. Big Words. Ooh, Mr. Big Words. I'm nastimonious. Nastimonious. So do we have anything else, guys? I went to watch Supergirl last weekend.
How was it?
It was good. It was fun.
You like superhero movies, so you're not really bothered by
movies.
Yeah, I would see it. I would see it too. I've heard the reviews, but I'd still go see it.
Again, the reviews tanked it. I watched it. It was fun. The one I'm looking really forward to watch, someone gave me a review on it today, is Masters of the Universe. Said it was like just a fun movie.
Awesome.
A love letter to the fans. If you're a fan of He-Man, apparently it was a love letter to the fans. What do we got coming up this week? Trey, Sheldon, me?
The Odyssey as well. Christopher Nolan film is out on Friday. So I think me and Mom are going to go take a peek at that this weekend. And
I might go watch that on
I will
Thursday
report
night.
back.
Well, yeah, I might watch it on Thursday night because it's probably going to open on Thursday.
Yeah, it is open Thursday night. You're right.
Well, for me, you heard about my broken down smoker auger that I spent about 3 hours fixing. Probably should have only been an hour, but those little pieces some of them are kind of tough to get at when you're 6'5", 290 pounds. Thank God, instead of getting in a fight with my son at a hockey game this weekend, my son's, who's got the musician's fingers, got in there, and I'd never even heard of this before. It's called an Allen nut. It's like an Allen key, but the outside of one that you need a special socket for. My boy Adric rigged it up with a wrench, and we managed to get that thing off and on again. Changed out the auger. So I'm going to be smoking some pork tenderloin here in the next 48 hours, followed by a trip out to Kukanoo. So I'm heading to the lake this weekend for a little bit of downtime, a little bit of time in the water. So that's what's up for the Nasty family.
Well, I'm looking forward to that for you because I know you haven't gone out as much as you'd like to, and
nope.
This is good times, boys. In 2 weeks, I'm headed to Montreal. So I don't know what the status of the ride or Chevy's presence on the ride. So you might have to call on reinforcements, Bruno or Daryl onto the show, or just handle it you too. But yeah, in 2 weeks, I believe that's what date is that? It's Monday the 27th. I will be probably out of commission. I'll try. I'll see. I might be connected.
You know what? And I'm going that. I'm probably going that. I might be getting back that day, so we'll figure it out. But are you going with the boys, or is it just you on this trip?
So this is a trip with me, Britt, her kids, and her parents. My boys are actually going to Italy with their mom.
Wow, there you go.
So they're going to be traveling a little bit, and so I'll be. I don't know if I'll be making that show. Just letting you know. So we welcomed all these new viewers from the dead Fan 960, and then we're gonna leave them high and dry.
I think the show will go on, but we'll figure that one out. We'll let you guys all know next week at this time. I think it's time to close this one up, right?
Yeah. I think
guys,
so.
as always, guys, thanks for joining us again here tonight. We look forward to this all week long. And Chevy's right. Sometimes I'm not a part of that group chat because I'm a busy guy. I got other stuff going wrong in my life that I'm trying to sort out.
He's sanctimonious about the group chat.
And I'm sanctimonious about the group chat, but I do know this: every Monday night at 10 o'clock, I know where I'm going to be. I'm going to be on with Trey. I'm going to be on with Chev. We're going to be on this ride. And dude, I feel honored every week that you guys join us. Love the comments. As always, remember, look it up in our socials. Join our WhatsApp group. It is a ton of fun. Continue the party all week long. But love you all. Love you, Trey. Love you, Chevy. We'll see you guys all here next week.